So welcome to the Nordics Roundtable, and we're not wearing the right colors as we see to all of you. So thanks for all of you to attending, and it's always great to have you here, especially in times like this where it's difficult to fly over here, but you all managed it. So thanks for that. And we talked about green signage beforehand, and we know the Nordic region is very advanced in that, and that's something. So what is your experience before we go more deeper in your market? But do you see your customers asking actively for green signage solutions or for more sustainable solutions? Laila, you want to start?
Absolutely. Is it on?
Yes, on, yes.
Yes, and I was just talking about, it's actually becoming a request in the tenders. In some of the global tenders that we submit to, it's part of it as well.
To be honest, I have the number. I couldn't believe it, but I got a number from some research institutes that did that 50% of all pan-European tenders last year asked already for the most sustainable solution.
Yes.
I'm convinced that not the most sustainable solution was chosen at the end of the day, but at least that's what they put in the tender. So I think that shows already the signs of time, or?
And it's also good because it's a requirement. So if you don't fulfill the requirement, you're out the tender in the beginning. So you source out or you take away the ones that aren't really sustainable or thinking about it because it's so thorough.
Yeah, good, fantastic.
Yep.
Good. Let's talk a little about the Nordics, because that's probably the most advanced digital signage market, and it's still fascinating to see that you guys were so much advanced for the rest of Europe. But you have most consolidation. You have many of your Visualart, for example. You really invented your new software, similar to Zeta. You also tried something new. We have Valotalive. You're a small player. We have two Finnish players here, so thank you for both of you to coming, because Finland is obviously one of the smallest markets in the Nordics. But how do you see the market, and do you think what's coming next? I mean, did we see the end of consolidation in the Nordics, or is now moving everything to Europe, or do you see still room for some less and bigger players? We want to start maybe?
Well, yes, from our point of view, as we are a SaaS cloud software, and we focus on workplace signage specifically. We see that the market is very dynamic. The customers are looking for new ways of using new technology, and they are not shy in doing that. So I think from our point of view, there's much room for innovation, and we can see a lot of software and content-based innovation already taking place in the Nordics. And I think the trends come from content automation and integration especially, and I think we'll be seeing a lot of work taking place around those topics there.
Kimmo, now you have to talk. This is exactly your story, because you're really strong in content and quite interesting. Maybe most people don't know. Maybe you could say 2 sentences about where you come from, or why, as a printing company, you're doing signage now.
Yeah, I'm bit of a humble to be here, to be honest, and wondering why I'm actually a speaker here. So we run 100 million print organization in Finland, and we do a lot of point of sale, which is then of course paper-based, and a lot of our customers are asking us what's the next, and so that's why we are moving into a digital signage as well. And we looked at the value chain, and we think we have found quite a nice sweet spot for us, which is not about delivering the media players, but it's all about how to help the customers to manage the marketing value chain, which is then means that how do you create the content and manage it. And that's my background of doing that globally with Xerox for 15, 20 years. So
but
I'm looking at the whole industry from a different angle.
Don't be that humble, because your company is really good at having this media asset management system. So you have many customers who are really, use your system already for printing. So you understand the process of printing, and now we decided, okay, you take this now and also bring it to digital, right?
I mean, the content creation process is the same, and for me, this is just another media in a sense, and we have a couple of clients coming to us, and they're moving away, and excuse me for saying this, from traditional digital signage players to us, just because we can help them with manage the content, and that's the area we want to play in, and especially in the lower end of the value of different levels of digital signage world that you taught me a few months ago, and that's where we want to play. Some of the things we saw the Spanish company doing to this, what they have done, is not something we're probably never going to do. But in a retail, having almost like a digital poster, managing content of that's the sweet spot that probably we're going to play in, and we can see a lot of demand for that.
Monika, we've seen a lot of, big accounts changing partners recently. I mean, you've won a few big projects from your competitors. I mean, Johan is anyway disrupting the whole industry. I think that's the thing he loves every morning when he wakes up, to do things different. Do you see this as a sign of the market, or of the maturity of the market, that the market is not growing much bigger, but you're trying to win big clients from your competitors?
No, I mean, there are two things to gain market shares, and one is to take customers from clients, of course, but I mean, that's not a strategy of ours. It's just sometimes our competitors don't manage to deliver upon their expectations, so it's not our primarily goal. I think that when it comes to consolidation in the Nordics, I think that it will of course continue, and all the Nordic players are growing in Europe, and we will continue to see a consolidation. But the thing is that all the small players in the market that we have today, they will not survive either. So it would also be like some competitors of ours will not be here in 1 year.
Okay. Johan, that's now your turn. You acquired Grassfish, you acquired Multicure, so who's next on the list? You probably won't share that with us, right?
I won't share it, but to be honest, I think that specialization in the value chain is something that just is on the rise, and it's due to manufacturers. That if you look at matured industries, you always have specialists in the value chain, and I think we are at the point now in the digital signage industry where you need to cooperate with others. Because everything starts from the customer journey, right? So most likely for big clients, there are a big firm like Accenture that maps out the customer journey in all channels. And then the challenge for us is to bring the right category expertise for the digital in-store experience. And most likely you need to cooperate with the store fitters for the concept to realize that. You need to cooperate with the IT department to bring endless aisle solutions into the concept. And you need to work with the media agency, the digital in-store team, and so on and so forth. And you also need to bring a lot of technology to realize the concept. So all of this together, bridging from what we saw earlier with the brand experience, all the way to relevant tactic communication, sales support in the stores, all the way to transaction. Endless aisle is a huge driver nowadays. All of this together will change the ecosystem and the way the industry works, and it will bring a lot more and require a lot more cooperation among partners in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know I'm ready. And to take that a step further, with Zeta we've acquired, and this is the expertise that we've acquired, so we're already a step ahead. We did the investment about 2.5 years ago in the software, and in the innovation period we also have implemented something called Zeta Labs, where we need to be thought leaders. We know that being a leader, you need to push the boundaries. That's our responsibility, and that's why we invest in this. So instead of having consultants doing that, that's what we're doing. We're having the concept, we're being the consultant at the first stage of the sales cycle as well, through to the deployment globally. So acquiring the right expertise in the right areas is the key.
But visual art can do that too, but you're good at that too, absolutely. No, but do you need to own a software to really deliver that? Do you need to own that? Yes, Kimmo.
And I must say, I agree with you. Hopefully this doesn't end up being men's against women here, but nevertheless, I mean, I've seen in the other industries as well, you're very good at something, stick with that, find the partners who are very good, next part of the value chain. And like I said, that we know where we are good, we would never do what you do, and in a high end of digital signage, and if we ever need that, we're just going to find a partner, and especially in the software, I agree with you, that's where it's going to go. And that's what we see in the softwares, which are the core softwares of my traditional industry, which is the printing industry as well, the same direction.
But we have four here on the podium who own their software. You're just a software company, all of the rest, you have your own software. Do you think you need to control that part of the value chain to be successful, or to design concept, or to connect to backend systems? Or is it something where you could say, well, it's nice to have it, but it's not really essential?
Yes. Yeah. Of course, now I'm speaking like my own interest, but actually for those who don't know me, I'm the founder of Vertiseit, and we started off as being like the #1 Scala partner in the Nordics. But all of a sudden we saw that what will have happen like 5 years into the future. So we actually decided to bet on the in-store experience management part of things. So we bet on the platform side. That's why we acquired Grassfish, where we work together with partners to realize things. And we betted on Dice, which is like 100% sell-through partners. But if we look at how the big projects are run today, like most of the platforms are not controlled by a digital signage player. So Adobe Experience Manager is like integrated in a lot of projects right now, for example. It's no one here that owns Adobe Experience Manager, and they don't own like the payment provider, and they don't own the e-commerce platform that you integrate to, or PIM system or DAM system. And 10 years from now, most of the full service provider will not own its own software for the in-store experience management. And that's our bet. And maybe some other can prove me wrong on that.
And I think when it comes to owning your own software, I think it all depends on, I mean, you have to put the client first. You have to put the customer first. And what is the solution supposed to do? Can you have your own software, or can another software do exactly that? Because sometimes it's just easy scheduling. You could use Samsung's Magic Info or whatever. But I mean, we didn't want to create a software because we want to have our own software. We created our software because it was required by our clients. Therefore, we have one software that can be used on almost all clients. But then we have specific softwares depending on the client. So, I mean, for McDonald's, for example, we have one software that is basically they want to see in the second what they are selling in specific restaurants. So that's not like a software that we can sell, but we had to develop it because that was the requirement of our clients. So you always have to put the client first. What is the problem that you want to solve? And then sometimes you need your own software, and sometimes you can use another one. It's not either or. It's not that one thing is better than the other. It's not, at least in my opinion. Mm-hmm.
Yes, being from this coming from a software company, I cannot help but saying that I think it was Mark Andersen saying a long time ago that software is eating the world. But I think the SaaS is also now on the driver's seat, and a lot of vertical specialty come from the software and integrations. But at the same time, I agree that collaboration between the companies and with the service providers is definitely needed. But from our point of view, at least, we see that a lot of thought leadership can arise from the software as well.
Mm-hmm.
Should I take the final note on this?
Sure, yes, you may.
It is really important that you have your own software. It's all about speed to market. When you get the request of the customer, you need to be able to, owning your own software, you can change fast. And it's also thinking about the future. There is so many things within the software that can be controlled. So it's a good thing to have your own software.
Good. Well, we need to see in a year from now where we are, if your own software is the key or not. But at least for us, it's always great to come to the Nordics to look, how your market is developing, how fast M&A is going, how fast all of you guys are now, coming to Europe, because the Nordic market is also quite limited, to be honest. So many of you have outgrown your own home market, and that's the reason why you're really, trying to expand to not only to Europe but also to North America or to Australia or whatever. So I think you have some stuff in Australia even. So it's really doing that and having a software which scales, which is, on a modern architecture, obviously makes life much, much easier with it. So thanks a lot for that. It was really insightful. And as always, thank you for coming here. I know it's here summer vacation time, so we really appreciate that you came over here to Munich. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.